Alright, so today we're going to handle question number 5 in the Strategic Management exam 2024 Cavendish. So question number 5 is as follows. Ruth Limited recorded the following costs for the past 6 months. So month 1 up to month number 6, and then activity levels in 1000 units, and then cost in 1000 kwacha. So this is what we have. Month 1 we have 40 and the cost, 30 and the cost, 36 and the cost, 38 and the cost, 42 and the cost, 63 and the associated cost. We required to estimate the fixed cost per month. Okay. Number 2, we are required to estimate the total cost if the activity level in a month is 75,000 units, B if it's 90,000 units. So the first thing I said in my previous videos to say, if you want to get the question correct, the first hint is that you know the topic from which the question was gotten, or from which the question is coming from, so that you do not do anything parallel to what you are required of. Okay? What makes people answer parallel question? They don't understand where the question is coming from. Hence, they will just write everything that is in their head. No, that's a mistake number 1. Before you answer question, ask yourself, which topic is this question comes from? So we understand now. This question is coming from cost estimation. Okay. What are the methods that you use to estimate cost? You can use idle method, you can use regression analysis, you can use scatter graph. Okay. Now, in this question, according to what I've been given here, what method should I use to estimate the fixed cost? Okay, so in this case, as we're going to use the idle method. Okay, so we have established that, okay, this data we can use idle method. We use idle method to estimate the cost. So, what does idle method say? So, idle is a method that we use to estimate the cost by getting the highest cost and the lowest activity, and use these two to calculate the variable cost per unit. So first we establish the variable cost, then we go to the total cost, we remove the variable cost that we are going to calculate, so the remaining part will be the fixed cost. So this is what we do. Number 1, for us to use idle method, you need to identify the highest activity amongst everything. So the highest activity here is 42. This highest activity has got the highest cost, which is 67. Again, identify the lowest activity. You know, when you identify, you start with activities. So the lowest activity is 30. So it will associate itself with the lowest cost, which is 5,826. Now that we know these two, let's go ahead and apply ILO method. So this is what we do. ILO method. So we first say high. You can come and say low. You can put here output. You can put there total costs. Okay. So what was the highest output? You check it from here. The highest output is 40. What is the lowest output? 30. So we go and we put there on the output. The highest 42. The lowest 30. We come here and we ask ourselves, what was the cost associated with 42? So 42, the total cost is 67. For 30, the total cost is 5,826. So we go and put these values there. So 6,700 This was 5,826. So you subtract, again put a minus here. Okay. Now you subtract 42 minus 30, you get 12. And then you also say 6,700 minus 5,826, you get 874. Having calculated those differences, you calculate the variable cost per unit. This is what we do to calculate the variable cost per unit. Cost per unit, this is what we do. You actually just say the cost you found, the difference in cost, you divide it with the difference in activity level. Okay. So once you divide, you'll be able to get 72,000. You'll be able to get 72, 8 point like that per unit. So you get this your value. You know that if 1 unit, this is the variable cost it gets. So what of 30 units? Or how much of the variable cost? What of 42 units? So you choose any of these activity levels. So let's choose 30. We want to calculate now the variable cost for the entire activity level that we are going to choose. Okay. So now we have chosen 30. What do? We have chosen 30, multiply it by 72.83. We'll get, we are going to get 2185 as our, we are going to get 2185 as our variable cost for the entire okay, let me put this put that one, 2185. Of course that was Quasha. 2185. That's our variable cost for 30. So now if this is a variable cost, the question is saying estimate the fixed cost per unit. So now we know the variable cost. Then we can just go to the total cost, which is this one, and then we remove the variable cost that we have calculated. Then we'll be able to have what? To have a fixed cost, because this is the total cost, and the total cost has got a fixed cost and a variable cost in it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say 6 cost will be equal to total cost minus variable cost. So the total cost, you get this one. Since you used the 30 to calculate the variable cost, and the total cost, you should get the one that correspond with the activity level you used to calculate the variable cost. Okay, don't make the mistake on that one. And you remove your 2185. You must be able to get a Quasha 3641. This is our fixed cost. This will be our fixed cost. So our fixed cost FC is equal to 3641. So fixed. So this is our fixed cost. It's our fixed cost. So even if the other person picks 42, you should find the same fixed cost. Okay, so let's now pick 42 and see. We want to pick 42 and we should come and find the same variable cost. Okay, so you don't have to worry to say my friend has picked this one and we're going to have different answers. No. So it will be equal to 42 times 72.83. What do we get? We are getting the variable cost of, if we say 42 multiplied by 72.83, we are getting the variable cost of 305.86. This is our variable. This is the variable cost that we are getting. We are getting a variable cost of so we can still go back and say, okay, let's now calculate our fixed cost. Be equal to fixed cost to be equal to total cost minus variable cost minus variable cost. So total cost, it is 6,700 minus variable cost, the one we are from calculating. When you subtract these, it will give you the same 3641, and this is actually what we are going. We have found 3641. Okay, 3641. Let me put a K here. So we should find the same variable cost regardless of which one you pick, or the same fixed cost. The variable cost may differ, but the same fixed cost, because fixed cost does not change regardless of the change in activity level, but variable cost changes, you can see from here. So this is how we can handle question number 1, which talks about estimating the fixed cost per month. And you get your 4 marks like that. Right. So do register with us for extra lessons. We guide you on how to handle this exam. I'll put the phone number in the description. Please text me a question, and then I'll be able to answer that question for you, and be able to post it here, and you'll be able to subscribe, share with friends. Let's grow and excel together in academics. My name is Dr. Consistence, a tutor from Cosmet Tutorials. Bye.